This Commanders replacement squad just loves the drama. And it was a drama-packed game last episode in Week 14 where we took on the Giants. We lost to them when we traveled to MetLife. We won at home, snapping a 4-game losing streak late on. 28-24. Defense got the job done late, gave our offense an opportunity, and we didn't throw it away quite literally. Turnovers have been a problem, but we're going to take away the deep passing game because it's not working with our receivers. We're going to go medium, but mostly short. Give Borgie the ball a lot more. He's been solid for us. Player of the game for our offense last week. As we jump on in to this New Orleans Saints matchup. They are 6-7. We will try to finish this game at 9-5, and hopefully the Cowboys can also continue to lose because they've struggled of late. Face them in Week 18, what could be really big for implications for the playoffs. So with all that said, time to get into the action against the Saints. And we have ourselves a little bit of a battle between the black and gold as we do wear the all black with the low gold accents. Saints wearing the white with the gold accents. Obviously two very different golds. But overall, will be a battle as we try to get this thing going. We obviously need a lot of touchdowns to overcome the interception ratio that we have. So if we could do that in the last few weeks, I'll be a happy guy. So as we do get started though, as previously mentioned, I'm going to work a little bit more in the rushing department, utilize the passing game as a complement for the rushing game, as an injury early on to Julio Jones will just impact even more our passing game. Hopefully it doesn't end up being all too serious, but in his place, we're going to see a little bit more of Bo Melton, maybe some Manny Fox as well as Borgie down the middle. Not going to get very far, just a couple extra yards. Leaving us with 3 more needed on third down. And we'll stick with the rush right down the middle. Borgie will fight through with, I believe that's Pete Warner, getting the first down. But that will be kind of the offense. We're going to stick with a lot of shorter, true runs, some RPO runs, and we'll pop out with a few passes as well. This time going to go out wide to Borgie, who stumbles around a little bit in the heavy rain and just manages to get back to the line. That will be the game plan for really the rest, at least, of this season. Short, quick, get it out, keep, well, Cody safe as a very slow spin move there from Turbin will still net us 8 yards. We'll stick with the same look on 3rd and 2. Justin Ross on the outside, Bo Melton in the slot, and that's where we're going to go. He gets the job done. He's not a flashy player, at least in this series, at least this year. But when he does go out there, he's making the plays. And I think we will have Osborne continue on the outside just with the injury to Julio. Going to have to roll out. Cody finds some space and will cough up the ball. He tried to find a juke past Werner. Gets caught up in a jumbled mess, and there's going to be another turnover for the rookie quarterback. Turnovers just continue to plague this offense and have to continually rely on our defense to make just as many big plays just to try to negate it, which we'll definitely take a look at the end of the season to see what the turnover ratio is. I'm pretty sure we're in the negative by a good bit. We definitely don't force as many turnovers as we give up, as there's a nice pass from their young quarterback, finding Chris Olave. It'll definitely be a handful for our outside corners in Mullen Jr. and Henderson, who have had very hit or miss games. He'll go on a decent streak of some good play and then give up some really bad play. So if we could clean that up as we move along, just help us out in the long run. First down for Kamara off the rush as they come out with a I formation following right down the middle with some really good blocking, and will be a touchdown yet again. Opposition capitalizing off of turnovers. It's the same headline every time. Also, the middle of the defensive line getting bulldozed, also very common. So we're going to have to answer back quickly here. We get Borgie down the middle, who will pick up a solid chunk on first down, 5 yards. Had 11 rushes for 91 yards last week. No touchdowns, but he was just the consistent force for our offense that when we needed to find yards, we know we could count on him. Julio Jones back in the game here, and he will get the catch with a first down. Update on his injury was a pectoral strain, so he's going to continue to try to fight through it, but we don't want him to really hurt himself anymore. Good block there from Borghi. Sets up Osborne around the outside, who will get the first down and out of bounds at the 47. Now we have a decent middle, really, of our wide receiver core, so if we need to bring in some other guys, I think we'll be just fine doing that. Unfortunately, here, we're going to have to throw away, and no flag comes in. He was maybe outside the pocket, might have got away with one there. On the 2nd and 10, we'll go back to a rush. Borghi right down the middle, gets sucked into a tackle, if I'm being honest. But he'll manage 3, leaving us with 7 on 3rd down. Have Jones going on the drag route. And it's the other route following Osborne on that like angle route almost. It's not exactly an angle route, but I mean the best way I could describe it. Osborne definitely continues to be our best receiver, but does best in the slot. We've tried him out on the outside a couple times and just doesn't really seem to get open. But as we loft this one up, Campbell doesn't even try to catch it. That's also been a little bit of an issue with our receivers. When we're in the one-on-one, if that ball is not perfect, a lot of the times they really don't seem to try to get it, as May lays the hammer down on Borghi. So on 3rd and 5, we'll send him to the sideline. We'll bring out Turbin as we try to find some space, covering it really well. Going to roll out, has some space to scramble, which he will, and sliding down this time safely down at the 11 goes Cody. And with maybe enough time for one more play this quarter, we'll go with an RPO, and we will hand this one off. Turbin with space right down the middle. Can't run through both the safeties, but we'll get down to the 2, which is where we will start the 2nd quarter. Hit or miss play in that 1st quarter, trying to level things up at the start of the 2nd. And we'll go at it with that same formation we ended the 1st quarter with. 2 spread either side. A little bit of some read option, but 2 defenders in the backfield handed off for the safety of our quarterback. Will be a loss of 2. Now we don't have to get the touchdown on this play. We just need to get to about the 1-yard line. And we'll go with a swing pass the opposite way, swatted at the line. Some tremendous play there from the right edge rusher of the Saints, leaving us 4th and 3. We're going to go for it. Read option. We have some pretty good blockers, and Cody can walk in untouched, help tie this game up 7-all early on in the 2nd quarter. Not exactly how we wanted that drive to end, with a 4th quarter going for it, but it works for us this time. But now with the game all leveled up, can our defense make the better plays this go around? Wasn't great the first possession. We'll see if we can clean things up, but a really good block there on Harris does free Kamara for the first down, and the ref finally blows the whistle all the way up to the 43. So almost the exact opposite of the start compared to last game against the Giants, where the defensive line started the game off really well. Can't say so in this one. Still haven't really seen much of any plays forced in the backfield, as Fargas is actually going to scramble, get the first down. He coughs it up, and I think Cashman recovered it. Will be a turnover. Defense leveling up at least the turnover department. We'll take a second look here. Cashman lays the big hit, and he does end up on it, but was that knee down? We'll see if they review. But as things currently stand, no red flags thrown, no booth review coming in, so it will be a turnover. We'll hand it off to Turbin, and he'll get 5. So the defense at least able to force a big play there, making up for their lapse on the same play. 2nd and 5, a little bit of some play action. We go across the middle, going to find Justin Ross with the catch. Actually breaks to the outside, really bad angle from the safety, Justin Ross, down the sideline to the 11. Lack of speed on show there, but does get us into a nice striking range. Now, there's also a really good throw from James Cody with pressure bearing down on him. Turbin will get the rush here and inside the 10. Gain of about 3. Not a lot of yards on it, but a decent amount on first down, setting up 2nd and 7. As we go back to that stretch read option, Turbin breaks to the outside, outruns the edge rusher, and we will take an early lead. This time we actually capitalize off the turnover. Rare occurrence, but we can get the job done. However, not trying to be too boastful, we end up missing the point after, so only a 13-7 game as Kamara coming in. You know, he's had a pretty good start. 3 carries, 55 yards, and a touchdown. We're just coming off a game against Saquon, and we actually did really well, I feel like, against Saquon. Didn't give up any big rushes, handled him pretty well in the passing game, so it shouldn't be all too much of a difference for us moving into this game. But I do feel like the Saints at least have that number 1 receiver, whereas the Giants really didn't. Handoff, Kamara cutting back towards the middle will pick up the first down. However, thinking with their receiving group past their number 1 guy, I feel like the Giants at least had a better, full, well-rounded group. As a scramble, here comes Harris, who knocks the ball free. He picks it up himself, and he will score a scoop and score with a little twist at the end. 2 forced fumbles on Fargas. Harris lays the big hit this time and capitalizes. Now off of it, can we get the 2 points? The one that we missed out on, and then the one that should come with this play. To the outside we go. Bo Melton, it drops in perfectly. We'll make it 21-7. 2-point conversion is good. So our linebackers coming through, forcing 2 fumbles on the young quarterback Fargas. Can he recover and help lead this Saints team at least down the field and put any amount of points on the board? We'll find out. 1st and 10 as they start at the 25. Will be another pass. Fargas looking to scramble. Will not get by with, I believe that was Deshaun Hand. It was not a fancy sack by any means, but will get credited with a sack. And we're going to bring the blitz on 2nd and 14 off the edge. Amadi back. We're just hounding Fargas right now. The team definitely plays with momentum, so if we could keep that going, all the better. 3rd and 21, they'll dump this one off across the middle, and we'll find their tight end who shakes 1 tackle. I want to say that's O.J. Howard. We'll pick up, some of the yards, but 4th and 10, defense forces the punt. Safe to say momentum on our side as we have just over 2 minutes before halftime. Up 2 scores. Turbin will start us off with a run down the middle. We'll pick up 5. Now quickly inside the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 5, they come out with the double A gap look. How about a little bit more read option? Great job from the corner to at least keep an eye on the quarterback and get an open field tackle. However, it doesn't do so extremely quickly or cleanly, and will at least give up just enough for the first down. Borghi down the middle, not going to get by number 92. Dalvin Tomlinson has been pretty solid. Now we'll send out Tyler Huntley in his formation here. We'll go with the pass play, see if Rucker could leak to the right. We also might have Osborne going on the deep corner, or we might not have any of it. We might have a penalty as well. Tyler Huntley will just take what he can get, slide down, and we'll see what the ref has to say. And unfortunately ends up being on Jawan James. Will back us up, losing all that yardage we had. 2nd and 20 instead. How about some play action pass? We'll dump this one off. Borghi won't even get the catch. So on 3rd and 20, maybe Osborne on the corner. That's going to be our best route option. And it's open, dropping it in beautifully. That is the kind of play we can get from James Cody if we keep him healthy. Beautiful pass. It also very much helps that KJ Osborne actually gets those catches. We've had some really good throws, guys like Alton Robinson, Julio Jones as well, but we're just not making the plays we need. And a late hit for sure on Cody, but no penalty flag thrown. About 50 seconds left in the first half. We have all of our, or actually have 2 of our timeouts. As we go to set up the screen pass to the outside, and the receiver came blitzing the quarterback essentially. Definitely not how that play is supposed to be ran, but it was how it was ran. How about let's change it up a little bit. Play action pass, then we'll send Ross deep. We won't have him going any more screen passes. Across the middle, or to no one. That pass was bad. So we'll let things calm down a little bit. Cody, don't throw that pass like that ever again. Alton Campbell and KJ going on some corner routes. We also have right down the seam, Borghi wide open. He's not getting a lot of passes his way, but he actually is a fairly decent receiving back, showing it there with a, I would say bomb of a touchdown, but I mean, what was that, 20, 30 yards? Solid. But Ticker the kicker has down missed 2 extra points. 27-7 as Fargus leads the Saints back out on the field. So for the remainder of this game, we may not see Dicker the kicker come back out. He might just head home at halftime. But either way, speaking of halftime, we have a little bit of some more play to get into halftime, as they do call a timeout after one play. Picking up 7, leaving 3 needed, but honestly, it's more like 70 yards needed because they need some points. They need to get a touchdown before half would go a long way, as Olave does go a long way, getting him close to midfield. I feel like when we're not pressuring Fargus, he's actually playing a pretty decent game. He's obviously coughed up the ball a few times and somehow gets that pass to O.J. Howard. But when we're around him, causing some havoc, putting in big hits, he hasn't had the cleanest game. So if we could continue that throughout this one, I think we'll be off to a pretty good one as an interception. Henderson, that pass lofted up for Olave, not a good choice. Maybe you could say it was the rain, didn't come out of the hand well, but either way, it's going to be a 3rd turnover by this defense. But with only 2 timeouts in 17 seconds, not looking like it's really going to be a massive scoring opportunity, but we see what we could get with Hales down the middle, not going to pick up very much. We'll call one of the timeouts. 13 seconds left. I'm just trying to think if we could get into field goal range. Although Dicker the kicker has missed several attempts today. We'll go down the sideline and overthrown. Well, all instances are telling me to just run this thing into halftime with nothing working here, so let's not press our luck. We'll go with the jet sweep KJ Osborne. We'll actually lose a couple yards, and we'll head into halftime on a 4th and 12. But all in all, can't say I'm disappointed at all in that first half play. 3 turnovers, massive for the defense. Offense is moving pretty well as well. I mean, solid. 147 passing yards, 101 rushing, the 3 takeaways. Just good. Need to make sure we continue getting some win streaks as a big battle here for the bottom of the division as the Giants up 21-0 on the Eagles. Giants trying to get back to 500. Eagles trying to not drop to 500. And following that, not an update for the Cowboys. Seahawks taking on the Dolphins up 24-0. Seahawks 3-10 on the year. Dolphins 5-8, and they might be dropping to 5-9. And lastly, Cowboys? Yes, Cowboys taking on the Steelers. And another loss for the Cowboys. A win today would put us at the same record. They did beat us, so they would still be first in the division. But either way, that's a big game. So let's make sure we continue to get the job done here. With a win would make things really interesting late on, giving us another round of hope for the playoffs. But a lot of it rides on if we can continue to do well against Fargus as we did in the first half, or will he turn things around? Prior to this game, we've faced 2 quarterbacks sub 70 overall, and they destroyed us. Fargus could very well turn things around. This defense is not known for consistency by any means, and they'll start off with a throw to the outside, pretty nicely placed as Jefferson gets the catch for the first. Also important to note, we've only forced 1 incompletion. And that 1 incompletion was actually a interception as Mike Dana gets a 2nd sack, and by 2nd sack I mean 1 in back-to-back weeks. That is something this team has struggled with. Massive amount of the sacks just going Shaka Toney's way, not much the other way. I would say about 80 to 85% of all sacks on this team are Shaka Toney's. So if we could start to see some pass rush from any of the other spots, this defense can just improve massively. 3rd and 13, can we get the job done here? Some receivers slipping to the outside. They find Olave, but he drops it. So in very distinct fashion for this defense, not cleanly, they get the job done as we'll head out with our first offensive possession. And I could already tell you that halftime changes were made for one thing and one thing in particular. Drain the clock and stop missing extra points. So that's what the goal is this entire second half. We'll probably see a good rotation at the running back spot as Turbin starts us off, and we'll get a 2nd straight carry. Might see a little bit more of Hales as well today. Haven't seen him much this season. We haven't really needed to either. But after that first down rush, he will head out for his first real running back carry. He was out on that jet sweep, but we'll hand it off to him here. Tries to spin back to the left. He will get forced to the right and still pick up 5. And as I mentioned previously, I think this running back group, I mean, is honestly solid. I don't think there's really much more we need to do to that group. Unfortunately, Hale's not able to stay on his feet there. But I definitely think, I mean, the guys get the job done, despite not being a super high overall. As we will go with the screen to the outside, gonna find Justin Ross close to the first down, but doesn't quite get it. But with a multi-score lead and us just trying to run clock already here, we'll go for it. 4th and 1, Bodden will squeeze out the first down, not by much. Pete Werner met him rather quickly, but it wasn't quick enough to get the stop. So we'll continue our offensive drive here, continue draining this clock. Cut to the outside, not quite cutting quick enough. Dalvin Tomlinson once again. Now we have gone with a lot of rushing. They're bringing down the safety. So let's go with a play action pass, maybe try to hit him over the top a little bit. They do drop back into coverage, and we're going to have to roll out and throw out. A good stack of plays there for the Saints defense, but they need one more here on 3rd and 10. As we come out, spread, we'll hand this one off right down the middle. Borgie with some space will convert the first down. No one touched him until the safety met him. Now that is one thing with Borgie. In open space, he does fantastic. Breaking tackles, hit or miss. And speaking of miss, that throw was a miss. As we also missed the tackle. Cody, our last chance, will get this tackle. We had 2 blockers out in front of KJ. You don't expect the corner is gonna be there to get the pick, but, well, he is. Just split the 2 blockers that was, Justin Ross and Alton Campbell out in front, and it could be massive here for the Saints if they could capitalize. To the outside, out of bounds. Now the Saints do continue to work the boundary, so might need to change up the play calling a little bit. Leave the cover 2 for a cover 3, perhaps. I might sit a little bit better as Fargas looks to scramble, has an open lane, takes a hit, holds onto it down to the 1, but a flag comes in. And that will back them up. So instead of down at the 1 for a 1st and goal, 2nd and 8 at the 10. They'll go with a rush down the middle. We have a couple guys there. A nice little, juke? Dip, dive, dodge? I don't know what to call it. But either way, Kamara, impressive run. 3rd and 3, they will pass to the right-hand side. Howard does get the first. And also sends us into the 4th quarter. 27-7, it's a 20-point game, but that might shrink down to 13 rather quickly. Kind of all depends on who really gets the best push up front here, as it's goal line versus goal line. Kamara, the lone back, right down the middle, and is met at the line of scrimmage, but spins off the tackle and into the end zone. Will get shrunk down to a 13-point game. So once again, our opposition capitalizes off of a turnover, and it's just been silly turnovers. As previously mentioned, wow, can't even say that word. But as previously mentioned, if I just slow down, maybe I can pronounce things a little bit better. The turnovers we're getting, honestly, are kind of stupid, right? You know, we have 2 guys in front to block on that bubble screen. Shouldn't have even had a guy there to get the interception, but he's there. And then last game against the Giants, the 2 interceptions throwing deep one-on-one, and the receivers just don't try it. They're all really stupid, but they're impactful. And speaking of impactful, Borgie continues to just be the workhorse for us. Over 5 yards a carry, getting a massive first down there on 3rd and 1. Unfortunately, though, with the success we do see from the rushing game, though, it really doesn't draw down safeties or corners when we do go with a play-action pass. Gonna have to roll out here, have a wide open Osborne. That pass just lofted too much, and it would have been intercepted if there was about 10 more yards of space on the sideline. But when you see a guy that wide open, I mean, you don't blame Cody for throwing that one. Just stayed up for a little bit too long. Go with a draw, and Warner read it really well, but Borgie freezes the man and makes it 3rd and inches. So of course we're going to bring out our short distance specials here in Turbin, although that ball does look like it's past the line to gain. But Turbin will get the first down, a little bit more rushing through Warner down to the 30. Now this was around the same area of the field. On the previous drive, we threw the interception. This time, can we come away a little bit more cleanly? No. Again, one-on-one situations. Great tackle there from James Cody, but one-on-one situations, our receivers do not care to catch the ball. Just kind of, I think it's one of those things that goes down to the way that they do the difficulties isn't really making other players better. It's more so making your own players worse. I don't know if that's something you guys have noticed, but if you ever play a game with like one person playing on like all Madden and the other playing on like rookie difficulty, it's definitely not making other players better. But it's just part of playing Madden, as the Saints have an opportunity here to make this a one-score game late as we continue to allow teams to be in games a lot longer than we should. So perhaps, who knows, maybe we'll change out some receivers for the next game. Maybe we just stop passing the ball. That also might be something we try doing, as Fargas lofts that one well out of bounds. Now on a 3rd and 7, they do come out with trips to the right-hand side, so let's make an audible. Let's not bring the cornerback blitz from a side we already didn't have the odds. And it will be another audible, maybe hot route for Fargas. Has some guys across the middle, and he will find one of them. Quick tackle from, I believe, Henderson? Honestly, I can't quite remember who wears 24. Either way, he gets the tackle, and it's going to force a 4th and 2. As they come out with a heavy look, we get a decent push, but Kamara cuts to the open lane and cuts once again. Have some incoming defenders who will get the tackle. Mike Dana inside the 15, but not a great look up front, and it just continues to be the case. Off the top of my head, I don't think we've looked at the defensive line for the upcoming draft yet, so maybe that's what we'll check out after the game here. But right now, we're getting a sack. Christian Harris on the blitz. Shakatoni jumps up to block the vision, and maybe that buys enough time for Harris to get the sack. As you see, just jumping up, doesn't even put the arms up. Honestly, I think it was a little bit of showboating. But whatever it was, he got the job done. 2nd and 20 as they spread wide, 2 to either side. They have a lot of late developing routes as Fargas is trying to buy some time, takes another hit at the sideline, but was not out of bounds yet. They'll end up picking up about 4 yards, leaving 3rd and 16 inside the 2-minute warning. Will be another pass. Thought they were about to do a play action pass right down the seam, and with 4 or 5 guys in coverage, no interception. But we all know if that was the opposite case and, I had 1 guy in coverage and it was my receiver, interception, right? It's always the fun way that how these things go. 4th and 16, just need to swat the ball down, and we definitely will. Swatting it out of bounds will force the turnover on downs. Davis Gaither in on coverage, plus another guy. And that other guy was indeed number 24, Henderson, so I was right earlier. Just feel like I don't see too many splashy plays from Henderson, so I always forget what number he is. But all we need to do now is run out the clock and run out the timeouts. And perhaps most importantly, not call any passing plays. 2nd and 5, let's just continue to run the clock here. Cut back to the left-hand side, Turbin just powers through about 3 defenders there for the first. So just have to run the ball one more time here, force the last timeout, and we could go ahead and kneel out the clock with a back-to-back win, a win streak for the first time in several weeks. Now, even with that being said, we could have won this game a lot cleaner, and we'll have to actually run one more play here to try to kill the time. Just let the clock expire is all we're trying to do here. Run back and throw it away. It is a win. The Saints fans who did travel here not very happy about that last play, but hey, we had to run it, had to kill the time. And either way, no matter what happened on that play, was no chance of the Saints coming back, so it doesn't quite matter. But offensively, we moved the ball well, have to limit the turnovers, another even one when the defense forced 3 turnovers. The defense forces 3 turnovers. We can't be giving up 3 on offense. Need to clean that up. And I didn't even realize this until grabbing the thumbnail, but we scored all of our points in the 2nd quarter alone. Not a single point for us was scored in the 1st, 3rd, or 4th quarter. So it was all 2nd quarter for us. Defense, they did pretty well throughout though. But the 2nd quarter was definitely the best for us. And we are indeed level in terms of record against the Cowboys. Both of us 9-5. In terms of playoff picture, we are actually currently slated to play against each other as the 3rd and 6th seed. Our current 1 seed are the LA Rams. And with 3 games left in the season, there is a slim margin that we could potentially get the 1st round bye, but that would require the Rams losing the rest of their games and us here all the way down at 9-5, winning the rest of our games. If that's to even possibly happen, there's other things that could obviously shake that up, but there's the slightest possibility we could potentially be a first round bye, getting the 1 seed. But as it stands, the main focus is getting a win in the next game. The Buccaneers, with an 85 offense, 84 defense, 84 team. Chris Godwin can be extremely hard to stop. It's going to be another tough battle for Mullen Jr. and Henderson. Possibly he sometimes goes into the slot. So even Amadi, who did have a really good game, I will say, in this game, he actually led the team in tackles, surprisingly. But I think defensive player of this week does go to Christian Harris. He made plays. He was all over the field. He had the forced fumble, scoop, and score. He had 2 sacks as well. It was a big game for him. And hopefully we'll see that continue as we finish off this season. 3 games left of regular season play. And then, as long as nothing goes horribly wrong, playoff football after. So make sure you guys are subscribing so you do not miss out on the remainder of this season 3. Hit my bear icon in the bottom right, or you can scroll down and hit the subscription button next to the bell icon, which you should also hit so you're notified when this series goes live. The Commanders Replacement Squad posted every single Monday and Thursday. On Tuesdays and Fridays, we have the FIFA 23 My Player Career. And then Wednesdays, Saturdays, back over on Madden with the state-only challenge, which we should have just started a new one yesterday if everything went according to plan, which I sure hope it did. But if you haven't seen that one, hope you guys do go check it out. As I record this one, I don't know what state or states it's going to be yet. You guys get to vote on that series. So hope voting day went well. I know there has been a couple wishes. So potentially it might be Michigan or Maryland, or it might be someone else entirely. So make sure you guys check out that series as well. But until next time, where we face the Buccaneers, try to continue our win streak, which we finally have back. We'll see you guys then.